All right, no big deal. We just got a little bit of Baptiste achievements to go hunting for. See, that no communication. They're staggered, and I need them not to be staggered. The other team. Yeah. Feels bad. Feels bad. Let's all start drinking. Where the hell did that come from? In this match. I'm just waiting for the next one. I'm just waiting for the next one. I would say the optimal play would be I'm in front of Bastion. Bastions are in turret mode. If he's shooting through and doing damage and I'm shooting through it and healing him, he's going to be relatively immortal and be able to pump out all the deeps.
We have Junkrat like while being basically. They're not picking, they're not picking.
And we got it, boys. We got it. All right, finally got it. It didn't take too long. What year is it?
2020.
Everybody, what's going on in its face? We're taking a look at Baptiste achievements, finally. Apologies for the delay. We'll get into what slowed me down. It was mostly window of opportunity, but let's talk about Stand By Me first. So as Baptiste, you have an ability where you throw this little 200 health lantern on the ground. Anybody around it can't die. So early on, people really didn't know how this thing worked. And there's still strategic reasons you wouldn't want to just stand in it. It'd be better to walk around a corner if there's a diva bomb going off, for instance. But you also have people that aren't being strategic. They're just being, what's a nice word for it? Dumb. They're being stupid. It's a little harsh. It was just frustrating for me. I know some big high burst damage is coming. I throw it on the ground, and this guy would rather kill himself than just stand in the immortality field. So when this happens enough times, it gets a little frustrating. But over time, people have understood better how to utilize this lantern. As I said, sometimes it's more strategic not to stay in it. So my best advice for you and how it worked for me is just drop it every time your team gets grabbed by a Zarya. Obviously, anytime there's a big burst ult coming in, Genji, Junkrat, McCree, Diva, throw it on the ground. If you drop it every time you're in a grav, you just got to hope for that, like the Hanzo ult, the dragons that are coming in, get your team under 40 health before they actually kill the lantern, and it'll proc. So again, fish for Zarya ults. Hey, just like every other achievement feels like. Just wait for Zarya. Next up, Window of Opportunity. This gets you the cute spray. This is his ult achievement. Apply 2,500. Amplify 2,500 combined damage and healing without dying. So when you hit Q, you're going to have this big square that's up in space. It's like a window. It's called your amplification matrix. Any projectile that goes through it doubles, healing or damage. Before we get too far into talking about how we're going to get this 2,500 combined damage, which is really 5,000, but we'll get into that. Let's talk a little bit about how Baptiste works. Baptiste has a left click that shoots his 3-round bursts. He's got a right click. It shoots his healing grenade. I forget what it's called. So you can either hold left click or you can hold right click. Another thing you can do, because you're going to need it to be able to help you get your ult up, because you're going to need multiple ults. We'll get into that. You can hold down both left and right mouse buttons and shoot both. You should always be doing both. Even if you're shooting bullets at the teammates that you're healing or you're shooting grenades at the guys you're shooting, that's fine, because you're gonna have to maximize getting as many ults as possible. Now Blizzard made this much easier in the recent patch, where getting his ult takes 15% less to get it maxed out. There may be other changes to Baptiste. Early on, his grenades wouldn't go through your teammate if they were fully healed. Now they do. That's kind of a buff, but they also reduced the fire rate, but then they increased the amount of ammo. So these things may vary, but you want to be sure that you're maximizing your ult creations. Why do we need so many ults? Well, let me tell you one of the major reasons. Amplify 2500 combined damage and healing means that it's only counting the amplified. So you kill somebody 200 health, you did it through the amplification matrix, it only counts 100 points toward the achievement. You heal your Roadhog up, he was only 200 health down when you topped him off, you only get 100 of that healing. So in essence, you need to do a total of 5,000 combined healing and damage. To kind of put this point into stark relief, if you have a team that you're up against, it's a Rhine, a Road, a Reaper, a Mei. These are all pretty fat characters, got a decent health, and then a couple healers, always 200. They only have 2,000 health amongst them. So if you wipe the entire team, you do 2,000 damage, only 1,000 goes toward the boost. So in that instance, you got to do that at least 2.5 times in a perfect scenario where you completely wipe them out. Of course, that's why we're doing combined healing and damage. So the point being, in the same way that I would say never don't hold down both left and right mouse buttons, your ults, your amplification matrix should always be in a position to where some heals can get out of it and some damage can get out of it. If you just put it right in front of you and you shoot some guys, you're wasting your potential. So either your team is set up in a way where you're in the back line with your other healer, with your DPS, that can all shoot through it, and you put it between you and your tanks, so you can be healing the tanks while your DPS are doing damage. That's like the ideal scenario. I have a couple other examples which we'll see where I kind of am on the side of the opposing team with some cover, and I put it in front of me so I can shoot through it to heal while the DPS or the rest of the entire team is shooting through it to do damage. It's like a triangulation. Okay, so we got down getting your ult quickly, because you're going to need multiple. We've got down maximizing the value out of your ult. Good. Points 1 and 2 done. We still got 2 points to cover. The third one is you have to do it in one life. Really, this is 1 point that's broken into 2 points. The first one is you got to work on your survivability. Don't be dying. Hold on to your immortality shield just for you in a tough spot. Get better at shooting Tracer in the head. Get a diva that's willing to peel for you. There's not a lot of tips for stay alive. You just got to get better with Baptiste. Trust me, most of the time I'm getting headshot by a Widow. I'm getting dove by a Genji. I'm getting killed by a Junkrat. It's very frustrating when you're a couple ults into it and then they get you back to 0. The other aspect that's going to give you trouble in trying to get this done in one life is if you get a certain map, it's going to be much more difficult. Pretty much you want hybrids or escort. You need some kind of escort because they can go the distance. You are greatly reducing your probability of getting this achievement if you do it on an assault map. Once the round is over, you restart. It's as if you died. So it could be possible, but you're probably only going to get 2 or 3 ults out, and if you get full value out of those, there is a chance. But your probability tanks very, very low if you're not on an escort or at least an escort hybrid map. So we've covered all the things that you need to be able to do to get the achievement. Build your ult quickly. Healing gets you more than damage, so focus on healing, but do hit both buttons. We've talked about getting good placement so you can get good value out of your ult, and we talked about the correct maps to do it on, as well as don't die. So all these things have to align perfectly. I've also gotten super high value, and then we just won the match too quickly. Put down the ult. I got a Bastion behind me. I got the tanks in front of me. Or I got a Trobjon behind me. I got the tanks in front of me. You just don't get enough time to get more out because you win too quickly. Like you're rolling over the guys if you're playing optimally. So this is one of those situations where you have to play optimally and all the other factors that you cannot control have to align in a way that help you get it. Which brings me to my final point. Why did this take so GD long? So I really wanted to get this achievement pugging as a solo queue. I felt like the Doomfist achievement was good. You guys liked it. I got lots of views. Appreciate that. But it felt a little as a YouTuber who's here to help people get achievements, it felt a little unfair to say, well, just group up with 3 people and coordinate these 3 ults and do them all at once. I didn't like it. I wanted to be able to get this very difficult, but technically possible to do solo and do it solo. And there was some, my tenacity and the sunken cost fallacy had me continue to keep trying over and over. And I would get one person in to help, shout out to KevZone, come in tank or DPS, and we would try to work on it together. I feel like saying, hey, to get this achievement, grab a buddy makes more sense than coordinate with 4 people, right? So I was willing to compromise my goal in that aspect. But as time went on, as we're in this year, the end of days of 2020, I felt like I needed to get it done, and as I saw the time ticking away, I was like, well, I will compromise further and further. So shout outs to Yusuf and Carmen and Who, lots of Who's on first bits with that guy's name, for jumping in and helping me out. They were watching on the stream, they decided to log in and help me out. And it took maybe 3 matches of us, kind of working out the rough edges of our game plan, and then we got the achievement. So if you got a couple buddies to help you out, it's going to be the best way for you to maximize getting this achievement, because Blizzard made this in a way where you have to coordinate with your entire team to get it done. It's not equal to fair, the same as other achievements. Zen only has to get 1500 healing with his non-targeting Q button, where it's just a giant AoE heal. When we got to get 5000 with targeting and dropping an immortality field to keep people from dying. It's not super fair, but the point being, this is about coordinating with your team. It's going to be very, very difficult to get in solo queue. And if you don't believe me, I have 72 hours of footage of me trying to do this solo and it not working out. So best of luck to you. I trust that you guys can get it. If you got some buddies to help you out, it's going to be necessary. And if anybody has done this solo, or if you have some tips that I didn't cover, please, please, please put it in the comments. Let's talk about it. Let's help people get this achievement. And glad to get that one in the books. All right. Love you. High fives. And we got it, boys. We got it.
Yes. Yes.